started, got them the first day. They weren't quite raring to go because we gave them about 3 or 4 days off since their last thing they had done. So we had to push them a little harder first practice on Monday, but today was much more energy and much more passion, a lot less mistakes. So tomorrow we're looking forward to putting the pads on.
These first couple of practices, you spend extra time maybe looking at the freshmen and newcomers, especially kind of see what you kind of got in hand. So what have you noticed from those guys?
Yeah, I try to do that all the time, but like I said, the first practice got cut a little short, so we got to see maybe 75% of a practice, and got to see a little bit of those guys. Then I got to see more today, but I want to reserve judgment so I'll watch the tape. There's some good players out there in that group. I'm really proud of the way they're competing right now. You know, the 3 defensive linemen are rolling in kind of with the 3s and 4s, and their energy and they're playing a lot harder than the other guys, which tells me they're hungrier than the older guys.
Freshmen are doing
yeah,
that?
Freshmen are. The 3, Tyler Clark, Mikael Carter, and David Marshall, all 3, they're playing with good motors and playing hard, which was probably the biggest pleasant surprise because of our depth issue there that I've seen so far. Now they got to sustain it, and they got to do it with the big boy pads on.
Did David surprise you at all how big he was coming in here this summer?
Marshall?
Yeah, Marshall. Yeah.
No, I've known David since he was a 9th grader actually, and seen him a long time. He's progressed naturally, and I don't know where I guess there was a misnomer somewhere that he was going to maybe be an outside backer, but that was never the case for us. We kind of thought he would be where he was, and he's more of a, you know, the hybrid 6 technique, 5 technique type guy that can play more stuff, which is where we're probably the most in right now.
You mentioned the depth on the defensive line. Obviously, fans, media are concerned with the quarterback battle. Is there one area, though, that is the most concerning for you at this moment?
I would say every position is a dead tie.
Okay.
Because all you guys have got the secondary anointed, and you're worried about the quarterback. But there's 22 plus the kicker and the punter, so we're at 24 that I'm very concerned about, and they're all equal.
Kirby, has the wideouts kind of built on what they did in the spring? What's been your impressions the first 2 days?
So far, I think the freshmen have played harder. They got more energy. You know, there's some kind of mechanism where a freshman comes in and he has no governor, and he just goes. And you just tell him you want to stay like that. And the players that stay like that are great players. Like, for example, Roquan Smith, he hasn't lost that yet. He just plays as hard as he can every play. And then there's other guys at receiver that don't do that. And if they don't do that, then they won't be able to help us in play because they play with the governor. And I don't want governors. I want you to run out of juice by the end of practice. Give me all you got, and when you run out, I'm good with that. Next time we'll go a little more.
You said Roquan Smith.
I'm talking about Roquan Smith doesn't have a governor. He plays linebacker.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But he plays really fast all the time.
Gotcha.
Now, speaking of Roquan, how is he physically right now? Yeah, he's gotten a bit bigger than what he was.
He has gotten a little bit bigger. And, you know, the biggest thing with him is going to be staying healthy for his size. And he's playing fast out there. And that's very pleasing to see. He's taken on a little bit more leadership role, and he's got a lot of ability. He just got to continue to work the same way.
All was fine with Rochester after it looked like he came off for a little bit yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. He probably got tired. He tends to get tired. So I don't know of any injuries. He just, you know, might have been something to do with his shoes. I couldn't tell you.
Is our shoes problems out there for y'all?
There are problems when they wear their high school shoes.
Well, how about
We corrected that, by the way.
I was gonna say, how about Shaqiri? I saw him on the bike. Is he dealing with it?
He got a little bone bruise. And we think he's gonna be fine. It's really a painful injury for a couple days, and he didn't have all his flexion, so we think he'll be day to day, but back soon.
Kirby, Reggie Carter wasn't present while we were out there, and there were a few guys out there that were kind of late. But was that an injury issue or something else?
Student athletes.
Right.
We're student athletes first. They are in the middle of the finals.
Gotcha.
So we're taking problems.
Got time for 2 more?
Kirby, I don't know if you've gotten this far down the road yet, but Isaiah McKenzie on kick return, punt return, he's such a dynamic talent, but he hasn't always returned punts, didn't return many kicks the last couple of years. Have y'all thought about how you're going to handle him?
Yeah, we're at an open competition there. I do think he's a dynamic player, like you mentioned, but we're having an open competition. I think he's a better punt returner than he is a kickoff returner, but he's good at both. Reminds me of when I was at Alabama, we had Javier. He was not a great kickoff returner, but he did return them. and that's a little bit how Isaiah is. He's taking a lot of ownership and doing things the right way, and the biggest thing with him is he's explosive, but he's got to have ball security, and that's the most critical factor for him to protect the ball.
Can you talk about your depth and tailback behind Nick and those guys? And there's like, I think he's number 24, a walk-on or somebody there. Can you talk about who that is? And
Yeah, so first of all, we got Brendan Douglas, who's played a lot of snaps here. He's been playing, it seems like, here forever. Since I've been watching Georgia, he plays a lot. He's very steady, he's very dependable, he does a good job. Tay Crowder's another guy that's competing right there and fighting his tail off. He's done a good job. The two young guys, I'm going to reserve judgment on those guys because I don't, Ryan and Elijah, I ain't got to see enough of them to know. I know Elijah's got the right kind of intensity, and he plays with the right attitude and demeanor, and he's picking things up quickly, but we haven't seen enough to know. They've never put a pad on at the University of Georgia yet, so I'm not going to have them ready. And then the young kid is Prather Hudson, the kid that we brought in from Brookstone in Columbus, who has done a phenomenal job in summer workouts and really competes hard, and we think he'll be a good player for us.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.